about public speaking. A majority of students today, due to many projects in schools, colleges, can speak effectively in classes. And even whether schools where activities are a lot, generally students don't find it problematic to walk up to the stage or podium or say a few words. In some schools where activities and these projects are not so much, they lag behind in communication skills. I feel that the training to the students to become effective communicators should start at an early age, maybe in primary classes itself. It's very important. Public speaking only is a part of effective communication. Personally or professionally, sometime or the other, public speaking or oratory skills take precedence in success of an individual. I can say about my experience. When I got my first assignment with YWCA in Delhi, I realized how important effective communication is for students who will be soon out for different jobs in areas they have not been, places they have not seen. So as a young professional or even a student, it's very important to have good communication or speaking skills. A person who has good public speaking ability will definitely have an edge over the others. Come what may, and wherever you are, irrespective of the profession, you will have an edge. That's why today I'll take this small session with you on public speaking. Mainly how to be an effective speaker in public. When you are speaking in public, maybe you don't know anybody, maybe you know just few people, it is important how you start. But how confident you are, that's a very important thing. If you are a little nervous, it is very important to overcome all these things. But how? Alone or with family members or with friends, it's important that you start practicing. It might be a little strange, but if you go for many interviews, you are asked one question, say a few words about yourself. Though I personally don't approve of this question, but if you are there, then you can't avoid it. And if someone asks you, then you have to answer. It's all about your introduction. In a setting where a lot of people might be listening to you, it's a debate or it's like a setting of a group discussion. It's all about your introduction. Simply you introduce yourself there with reference to context to that meeting, that particular meeting. But if you are, if you are listening to a person or you are speaking about yourself, your speaking ability speaks volumes about your educational background, the region you come from, or your sensibilities, what kind of a general idea of what you think about a particular issue. Everything comes across in that introduction. But to be able to speak effectively is an art. It is an art to speak in public. It is not something, of course, that can be excelled overnight. There are a few useful tips. We generally hear them, but we'll discuss them later. These are: research your topic. Keep a few quotes handy. Maybe some hilarious references, jokes also handy. Dress appropriately, which does not demand correction. Every now and then you need to put things in order. Start with some examples, quotations or anecdotal examples. That's personal to yourself, your own stories. And don't try to be funny when it's not required. You must understand what kind of audience you have. Choose your words. Don't try to hurt anybody or make sure nobody is hurt. It should be like that. Brevity, I have always said, brevity is something you use a few words for some concepts, or something that has to be chosen very carefully. Eye contact is another thing. When you look and address an audience, you speak to everybody. Like it should be felt that you are talking individually and addressing a lot of people individually. You should not try to ignore a certain area when you are speaking. But in general classrooms also, if somebody is making you nervous or somebody is laughing at you, it happens in classroom situations. Avoid looking in that area, but continue confidently. If somebody is trying to do something, you're not very comfortable, avoid looking that side, but you should not be affected. How to become a good speaker? As I've said, it's like an art, but how do you practice it? It's very important. Let's discuss this and try to do it in an effective exercise manner. How? Practice your introduction, stand with your friends or your family and introduce yourself. That is an ideal way to start learning public speaking. Introduce yourself, tell your name, your experience, what are you there for, how many people you would like to thank, your organizers or people in the audience, something. You develop that and start. Then the next day, I always prefer that the next day, come and practice what you have done alone. Just think how many people you are addressing. Think that you are in an actual setting. If you don't know words properly, if you don't know how to pronounce them, then look up a dictionary or Google, find out, try to improve that. Then gradually, take up the second exercise. Take a topic, make your notes, try to understand what you have to speak, develop your own content, and don't try to be influenced by a particular speaker. He said, spoke about all that, so I should also do that. Develop your own content. If you forget, make your notes, keep your notes. If you forget, you can always look up your notes. There's nothing wrong. You can just see, keep them away. Then if you feel, that is if you feel that you might forget, if you're confident with it, well and good. There are some people, who read more than 2 newspapers, magazines. It's always very good to read a lot. If you want to take up public speaking as such, if you're reading, then sometime or the other, you will have inputs which nobody has heard of. That will make people sit up and listen to you. Definitely. And you will be like, it will help you a lot. If you feel that there are important quotes and you remember them properly, then quote. You must also quote unquote the person who's the quote from. Then I'll say, if you're going for some kind of a debate, that's also public speaking. Take your notes, make your notes, see them once in a while if you really need to. An important thing is, while speaking in public, check your voice level. Check if you are giving out any nervous signals. Like if you, in your practice sessions, improve them, check them yourself. If you are stammering, if you have extra hand movements, leg movements, any kind of repetition, you are scratching, or sometimes you forget and look at random things, example, the ceiling, and you've forgotten, it's okay. Just continue. You come back to your content and continue. It happens. It's fine. If you in the beginning, you can just keep improving. Everybody learns in every session. In your workplace, if you want to become a good speaker, look for a chance to say a few lines in the meeting. It should be effectively communicated. If you have a point, nobody has spoken, make sure you repeat it in your mind if you're not very confident, and then stand up and speak. People will start noticing you. Slowly participate start participating in your company's events or functions. Ask for a chance to compare. Go to any function, ask if you could speak a few lines. People will start appreciating, but you really need to develop the content reference to that context. Content matters a lot in public speaking. See the audience, vocabulary, and the way people are watching you and listening. Speak words or sentences that people can comprehend, people can understand and appreciate. There are many things in public speaking. People speak in the language, speak in any language. If you are speaking in English, make sure you speak in your own accent, which is originally yours. Copying somebody does not help. It is excellent. It is considered great to be an effective speaking in English, being an effective communicator in English with nuances, proper grammar, excellent accent. But it is equally great, I feel, to be an effective speaker in your mother tongue also. If you have started in an English medium school, start practicing speaking in your mother tongue. In the beginning, you'll have problems with vocabulary or some kind of words you have not understood, you have not done it before, but I think it is a great idea. You start working on it. Watch news, watch documentaries, develop your own style of speaking, whichever language you are speaking in. Don't try to imitate. Then, the most important thing, time yourself. Your speech should neither be too long nor too short. Be sensitive to the audience. Try to see what the reaction is and accordingly proceed. Use some presentation tools like some kind of PowerPoint presentations, some videos, audios. It'll help. Google Slides, something. Don't try to have too much content or in tools. It'll just confuse the audience. Then it becomes like some kind of a classroom situation. If something